Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. And not your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Welcome back from Fox News. I apologize for my raspy voice. My allergies are still kind of kicking my butt, so I'm getting through it. Jen Psaki claims, she's the press secretary for the White House, claims no Americans stranded in Afghanistan in heated exchange. Of course, you got to be Peter from Fox, I'm sure. Psaki says it's irresponsible to say Americans are being stranded in Afghanistan. Oh, is it? Okay. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki grew visibly annoyed during the press briefing. Visibly annoyed? Didn't she have all that time off to recharge her batteries and get zen and hide from the press? That's their strategy. When things go bad, they put their heads in the sand. Now, it's kind of like a 4-year-old, 3-year-old doesn't want you to look at them, so they cover up their own eyes and say, you can't see me. Because if you can't see them, they can't see you. That's pretty much what they think. Was annoyed during a press briefing Monday when she was asked by whether President Biden was aware that most of the criticism against Afghanistan withdrawal was about Americans being stranded in Kabul. And Peter asked, does the president have a sense that most of the criticism is not leaving Afghanistan? That's true. Oh, man. That makes CNN and a lot of the mainstream media, the intelligence services, what Eisenhower called the military-industrial complex, makes them furious. They make money off of war and conflict. It's the way that he has ordered it to happen by pulling the troops before getting these Americans who are now stranded. Does he have a sense of that? Fox News White House correspondent Peter Doocy said. Psaki said it was irresponsible to say that Americans are stranded in Afghanistan. I think it's irresponsible to say Americans are stranded. They are not. We are committed to bringing Americans who want to come home, home. Now, here's the thing. This is what they do. It's not the facts. It's not the situation that's important. It's how it's worded. Words matter, and they do matter. That's true. But it's irresponsible in her mind because that's not the word she would use, is stranded. Or they're temporarily stuck there. Or they're temporarily waiting evacuation. But they're not stranded. Stranded implies that the Biden administration effed up. Can't have that. It's about perception. Perception of these people is reality. If we say they're not stranded, then they're not stranded. I'm 5'9". If I say I'm 6 foot tall and have blonde hair, then I am 6 foot tall and have blonde hair. If I'm a man, a biological man, and I will become a woman, I am a woman. Follow me? It's the flaw in the Democrat, progressive, leftist part of their brain that what you say and do makes it true. It doesn't. Doocy followed up and asked whether there are no Americans stranded as the official White House position. That's a fair question. Now, granted, Fox has always been adversarial towards the Biden administration. I'm not going to, make that up. But there's been some Fox people who have been pretty tough on President Trump. But Peter, I think, is a damn good reporter. They might not like the questions he asks. It makes them feel uncomfortable. But it's not the reporter's job to make them feel comfortable. When asked about if that was the White House position about no Americans are stranded, Psaki said, I'm just calling you out for saying we are stranding Americans in Afghanistan. Well, we have been clearly that we are not leaving Americans who want to return home. We just can't get to them or we're not leaving. Instead of just telling the truth, Psaki said we're going to bring them home, and I think it's important for the American public to hear and understand that. And there's the fine point of it. There's the fine point of it. Many Americans are stranded because of the way this was done, either by their own actions, the individual Americans, or the Biden administration, mostly the Biden administration. But the public to hear and understand that they're not stranded, even though they are, is what's really important. It's important that the rhetoric in the PR, in the visual, is police are hunting down African American males in record numbers across the nation. Not true. It's important that what they think is reality and not what reality is. That is the fundamental flaw of all of these progressives and leftists. So let's get a little piece of the exchange here.
Our materials and equipment.
But does the president have a sense that most of the criticism is not of leaving Afghanistan, it's the way that he has ordered it to happen by pulling the troops before getting these Americans who are now stranded? Does he have a sense of that?
First of all, I think it's irresponsible to say Americans are stranded. They are not. We are committed to bringing Americans who want to come home. We are in touch with them via phone, via text, via email, via any way that we can possibly reach Americans to get them home if they want to return home.
There are no Americans stranded is the White House's official position on what's happening in Afghanistan right now.
I'm just calling you out for saying that we are stranding Americans in Afghanistan when we have been very clear that we are not leaving Americans who want to return home. We are going to bring them home. And I think that's important for the American public to hear and understand.
Okay, and then follow
our material.
And there you have it. It's all about the rhetoric. It's all about the visual. It's all about what you tell the American public. If you can't get the people to get them out in a situation like this, then they are stranded. He was right. It's not the pulling out's the issue. It's the way that it was done. And to take a hit for something that you did wrong and admit you were wrong is really hard for people, even children, adolescents, teenagers, young adults, middle age, seniors, everybody. Nobody wants to admit you're wrong. But sometimes you just have to say, you know what? We effed up. We're going to try to do the best we can. Sometimes just falling on your sword and admitting you were wrong is the easiest and smoothest path to get by it. But not these guys, because they think that what they say and what they believe makes it true. That is the fundamental flaw of all progressives and leftists. Doocy later asked Psaki whether Americans being beaten up by the Taliban and Afghans passing babies over barbed wire fences was what Biden meant when he said America is back. Yeah, that's an inflammatory question, but you know what? It's a fair one, but it's being pushing back a little bit. He probably got mad about the fact that he called them irresponsible. Well, calling Americans stranded is not an irresponsible question. What the president meant is they were going to continue to lead the world including being the leaders in evacuating not just Afghan partners, just as American citizens, but also our allies. Yeah, there's your problem. Your allies are not so happy. They are really, really pissed. I don't know. The next time we go into a country, well, I hope we never nation build again because it's a complete waste of time. But the next time we're ever involved in a conflict, whether it be small or large, and there will be another time. And we ask the local peoples there to side with us against their own people who are bad. They're going to say, are you kidding me? You have a history of over half a century of abandoning your allies when the going gets tough. I'm going to stick out my neck and all my family to become killed because I take you at your word? America's word now to small countries, it's worthless. America's word to NATO countries and our allies is worthless. Worthless. It's not that I'm saying that, John. You're saying worthless because you say that words matter. It's perception. No, I'm going by actions. I'm going by facts. Ask anybody in Central America if we deserted them. Ask anybody in South Vietnam, or the ones who escaped South Vietnam, if we deserted them. Ask the Afghan people, the millions, that if we deserted them. Not that we should be there forever, but we did desert them. We had 20 years and we changed hearts and minds. There's people in their late 20s, early 30s that know nothing else. And now they're back under Taliban rule. Ask them if the Americans kept their word. So, she thinks stranded is irresponsible. Irresponsible is trying to change hearts and minds. Irresponsible is trying to nation build in an area that's impossible. 4 major world powers now have been screwed over in Afghanistan. Ours was the longest at 20 years. Either we were the most stubborn or the most stupid. I haven't figured it out yet. The place is a cluster blank. It will be for a long time. Democracies take decades, sometimes centuries to develop. You just can't go into a fundamentally conservative Islamic nation and expect them to turn around the democracy that quickly. It will never happen ever. Ever. But we tried it again. Soviets tried it, failed. British tried it, failed. European countries tried it, failed. So now our enemies in the region are much better off than they were 5 years ago, a year ago, 6 months ago, maybe even 6 weeks ago. And that's the reality of it. Admit you screwed up. We're going to try to make up for what we did wrong and get as many people out as we can. Some are going to get left behind, tell the truth. Some are going to be taken for hostages. It's probably the MO. And we'll play it as we go along. This is all new territory for us. Oh, gosh, what a mess. And until next time, goodbye and good luck.